Hello, pioneers. Happy almost holidays. Let's start our meeting with our invocation as always. Marilyn Patterson will lead us. Our Heavenly Father, let us take this week and enjoy all of the things that are offered up to us to help celebrate Christmas, celebrate the meaning of Christmas, and the joy that we can bring to others. We've been gifting all month in different ways and celebrating our Lions service to our community. Bless our food for our bodies today, and we just thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Past President Michael Parker, please lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike. And let's see, how about David Hammond? Would you lead us in song? Yes, I did.
David doesn't need a microphone.
There you go. Today we're going to be honoring David Smith with God Bless
America.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
That's it, David.
Thank you, David. Okay. Lion Tamers. Do we have guests today? I know we have at least a couple.
President Cheryl, Lions and guests, we have Sherry Pruitt here with Jay.
Hi, Sherry. Glad you're with us today.
We have Jennifer here with Cheryl Coast.
That's my kid.
And we have little baby Georgia with Mommy Kate.
Hey, Georgia. Welcome guests. Welcome everyone. There are several holiday greetings and thank you cards or club donations and so on the side table today if you're interested in reading those. I'll leave them right over there. Won't pass them around so they don't get lost, but if you want to take a look, there's quite a few cards over there. Also, please remember, this is the last day of 2023 that we will meet. Our next weekly meeting will be January 2, 2024. Our meeting today is focused on the upcoming holidays and holidays past. So some of us will share brief stories of their favorite Christmas memories. So the second half of our meeting today is going to be inverted to allow that feature to end our time together after the rest of our regular business. So how many of you out there have been naughty or nice this week? Who's been naughty? Oh, okay. Who's been nice? Okay, I think maybe there's too many of one and not enough of the other. Tail twisters, get your happy bucket out and find out.
Sure, now.
No time to eat, Spencer.
Mr. Steve.
There's no rest for the wicked.
President Cheryl, Lions and guests, since we will not be meeting next week, this is the time that I'd like to honor Hal and Patricia Palmer. The day after Christmas, they will have been married 54 years. On that same day, the Pattersons will have been married 53 years.
Oh, boy.
So we're happy for both families, and I think we're heading north to see the grandkids and do all the celebrating up there, so we're happy about that as well. Thank you.
I only have 10 minutes today, so talk fast.
Maybe a couple more.
Pay up, but talk fast.
President Cheryl, Paul Lyons Gus, and happy $2. Been having a fun time editing up some videos for Lions Club. And also, just a reminder, since it's the end of the year, if you want to do any large charitable contributions, either to Lions or Salvation Army or anybody else, give the receipt to Pat Palmer. We get a few brownie points for our club.
Bless you, and thank you, Dwayne. Rosie.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I have a couple of happy dollars, and I'm happy to be awake. I went to bed at 8 this morning.
Ooh.
My son and family are coming down on Thursday, and I always make cookies for him. Well, he is now dairy intolerant, so I've decided you cannot bake without butter and milk. I was doing chemistry experiments all night long, and they're still like hockey pucks in a
Oh.
but they look pretty.
I got a good joke to follow that chemistry experiment. Steve and Marilyn, they've been doing a chemistry experiment for 53 years.
Oh.
It's Steve's experiment.
President Cheryl, fellow and some guests. While my happiness for both the Pattersons and the Palmers et al. Is great, I do have 10 happy bucks. And the biggest reason is I won't be here on December 26th. Neither will you, but you won't be on an airplane to Fort Lauderdale getting ready to get onto a cruise ship for 11 days. So there are one or two people in this room that I'll miss, not you, Greg. I just want to make sure that you guys understand as the year comes to an end, it's been my pleasure to be your treasurer. It's been my greatest pleasure to be your friend, and I'm so thankful for each one of you. There are folks here that I like more than others, but I would never let the least of you that I like the least to ever know it. One of the pieces that I actually have that I would like to leave you with is that as this new year dawns, may each and every one of your greatest dreams come true, especially you, little baby Georgia.
Pat, you said you'd never tell me you didn't like me.
Did you sign Georgia in?
Oh!
He did say it was him too, and I said, no. Here it comes, money, 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 money. Money. John Claypool, are you digging for more money or what? John Claypool.
President Cheryl Lyons, yes. I just want to remind everybody that's here that this club has meant very much to me for about 45 years, maybe longer now, I don't know for sure. But one thing that this club does, at church you learn to serve others. In Lions, you actually do it. So that's the best thing about this club. You get out and you help people, and that's what matters, financially through whatever we do. And believe it or not, I love each and every one of you like a brother and a sister.
Thank you, John.
Marilyn Patterson has 3 ones for us today.
Are you in training?
Today.
Yeah. President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. $1 happy for last Friday evening. There were 7 Lions and 1 guest, which was Patricia Palmer. And we went caroling. We managed to find Ruth Moore. And also at the Americana, there were other ladies in the same room area, and they loved it too. So I just wanted to share that. Yeah, I'll come back if I remember.
Did say she was. Oh my God, no, he must not have been there or Cindy wouldn't have liked it. Oops, I did say that into the microphone, didn't I? Mr. Mike Parker.
Pucker up, Parker.
President Cheryl, call lines and guests. First dollar is for seeing Cindy Sessions doing so well. I went to see her this morning and she said the one thing she was really looking forward to when she gets out of there is being able to get breakfast that isn't bad scrambled eggs or oatmeal. Also, Pastor Governor Marilyn mentioned singing for Cindy over there. If you go over and see Cindy, be careful of the lady in the next bed. If you want to know why, ask me. My second dollar is I don't know what you'd call it. I'm so glad to see Katie here with Georgia. I told Katie at the dinner the other night, I told Marianne once too, how that baby is so special. It has the same birthday as my cat.
Really? And Cindy is coming home on Friday, by the way. She hopes. Hal Palmer.
Thank you, President Cheryl, for all lines and guests. Happy anniversary to the Pattersons. And I always like them to go first, because when he gives his number, I don't have to recheck my number for 54 years. And you know, after a while when you get married, you need calculators to figure stuff out. 25? Okay, when do you get to 50? If Bubba will put up with you that long, that's for sure, right. And the final happy dollar is Cindy was so happy. I was singing next to her. No, not tears of joy.
Tears of pain.
Tears of joy, that's good.
Okay, just a second. Matthew Dixon.
Let's see if I get this right. President Cheryl, members of the Lions and guests.
Hey! Good job! Good job, Matthew.
Here's my 5. Congratulations to the Palmers and to the Pattersons. I can only wish that I have that many years with my wife.
How many days is it now, Matthew?
I don't know, 2 weeks. I haven't counted yet. By the way, I fit really nicely in a large suitcase in case you want to sneak me on board your cruise. So, awesome. Love you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
He's just showing off. Mr. Greg.
President Cheryl, call lines and guests. A couple bucks a day. The first one, looking forward to Christmas. I have most of the kids and grandkids at the house for Christmas dinner and whatnot. And Palmers and Pattersons, you guys don't hold a candle. Next Tuesday is my mother's 100th birthday.
Wow. You don't look that old, Greg.
Feel it.
President Cheryl. $5 a day. Very happy with the performance of the Appalachian Christmas performance. It was outstanding. The O'Connors did an amazing job. It was
So another busy weekend of basketball. We made it to 7 out of the 12 games over Saturday and Sunday. Very thankful that that was the last weekend that the two boys are going to be playing basketball this season. Sunday evening, pretty big surprise, our son and daughter-in-law told us they had a special present for us. So they set up a map on a corkboard, put it up on the wall in the dining room, told my wife to take the card and throw it where we land. Apparently, hopefully staying the next 2 weeks after Christmas behind their piano. I didn't think I was serious, right? Quote of the week. What we are is God's gift to us. What we become is our gift to God. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You have a baby, you have no money. Carrie Ann.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, looking forward to this Christmas. It gets exciting. This is our 3rd grandchild, so we have Georgia, and we've got a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. So they're making Christmas fun. And then Matthew, I just want to tell you, I'm adding to the anniversary. So Tony and I, our anniversary is on Christmas Eve. And we will be married 19 years. And it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Don't listen to her. We have 25 years of beautiful wedded bliss.
Oh, you'll get to meet her next week. Next week.
Yes, he would. And Mr. Ken.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, 5 happy dollars. First one, we're going to say thank you to the people that are going to participate in today's program. You are going to have something special and something new. The other one is keep the microphone. Okay, I can do that. The second happy dollar is I'm tickled pink to see my lovely daughter-in-law here, who for some reason said yes. I don't think she knew what she was talking about 19 years ago, but they got married on Christmas Eve, which was very exciting because they surprised us all and invited the whole family to their house for breakfast, not knowing that they had gotten married. However, Vegas, Christmas Eve, a nice new shiny ring on her finger, late. The other happy dollar, when you hear the song Georgia on My Mind, always remember my great granddaughter.
Not yet, but I will.
Terrific young lady, we're very proud that she's here with us today, along with her lovely mother, Katie. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's all yours.
Okay. Let's rush into our announcements because we got a bundle of them. First, I just wanted to say several thank yous are in order to many pioneers who have selflessly served the less fortunate among us the last few weeks. To all who gave their time and fortune to provide a happier Christmas for our chosen Salvation Army family, thank you. This year's giving was especially generous in both gifts and cash. Thank you, thank you, thank you, pioneers. To the Lions who rang the bell on Thursday for the Salvation Army Red Kettle Drive, or any other time, Dwayne, thank you for your time and your service. To the intrepid group of pioneer carolers, or as I like to call them, the mistletones, who serenaded our sister Lion Ruth Morrill and Cindy Session on Friday evening. It was an impromptu but very fun event. Thank you all for your enthusiasm and for some of us maybe somewhat marginal talent. Thank you. Okay, another quick announcement. The district in Spring Con that we've been telling you to put on your calendar You might have to scratch a line through that one, but we don't know for sure yet. The May 1st and 2nd dates are probably off. March. I wrote down May, sorry. The March 1st and 2nd dates are probably off. The location is definitely off. The conference hotel got sold, so there's no place right now to have it. So the new date, when, where, and if, is to be determined. So stand by. We'll give you more information when we get it. Marilyn, you had something you wanted to share with the group? About a donation, I think?
Marilyn,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Both mics are up here.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, while we were singing carols, Ruth Morrill asked if she could donate some money. I said, you know, we're not going for donations. And she said, oh, I want to. So many of you remember Ruth. Some of you are so new you don't. But she used to be our white cane chair. So she donated $25. She said, put it wherever you want. We all agreed that we should serve this $25 and donate it to White Cane in honor of Ruth Morrill. So I will give this to the treasurer.
Excellent. Thank you, Marilyn. Patrick Palmer has something he wanted to share with us, I think.
And the mic is up here.
Yeah, sorry, Pat. You're going to have to yell.
Okay. President Shaw, fellow Lions, really nailed this down. Dues for 2024, individual $90, couple $160, multiple families, we have a special agreement. Long story short, I'm gone until the 9th. If you all show up here on the 9th with handfuls of cash, I will lose it, and I swear to God, I won't look for it. Okay? Put it in an envelope with your name on it. Write me a check, something, if you feel you have to do it on January 9th. Otherwise, I'll get them out towards the end of the month of January. You can get me the money. Cash flow is not the problem. Okay?
Yeah.
The problem is somebody needs to be able to focus on it completely, like you did this morning.
Okay.
That's what I need from you.
Sounds like a plan, Pat. Okay. Another Palmer has something to share with us, I think.
Yeah.
Mr. Howe?
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, and for those who aren't aware, a number of different people gave donations, many of them anonymous. Puyallup South Hill Lions sent $100 for the 100th anniversary committee, and a friend, or no, fellow Lion sent, let me get this right, $175 in Turkish money, which I am going to present to President Cheryl. In other words, I got rid of it. Pat, you got to thank me for this. Do you know what $175 in Turkish money is worth?
$8.50.
$6.47.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Anne, visitation. And you can also do, while you're talking, you could probably do sunshine if you have any cards or anything back there you want to talk about. Oh, it's actually Steve today.
Thank you, President Cheryl, other Lions and guests. We have a visitation on January 4th to Castle Rock. It is at the Methodist Church.
Okay, we've got a mic.
Mike's up here. We got a bill.
6 o'clock, 6 p.m. It's a potluck. And actually, I believe Marilyn Patterson is the program. We have a sign-up sheet back here. Remember, it is a potluck. And then we also have a card for Taryn Nelson, a member of our club who doesn't attend, but she maintains her membership here, whose brother was killed in that car wreck on I-5. So if you get a chance, we'll leave this out here for you to stop by and sign. Thank you.
Okay. Darlene. Lion Darlene. Past President Darlene.
President Cheryl for Lions and guests.
We are doing our plastic starting January 1, but I've already got almost 25 pounds, so. And tomorrow I have a crew, we're going to grocery outlets to do theirs. I have a bin about this tall that is full of plastic, and we can come in anytime we want, just empty it and go through it and save it for us. And it'll be dry, it's all inside, but I have a crew for tomorrow. But you can start bringing, at the first of the year, we're going to have a bin in the back here that you can start bringing your contribution from home. So if you have,
Excellent.
so if you have a few, you know, and then we'll turn it in, try to once or twice a month to Fred Meyers.
Is this just clear, is that all?
Did you not, were you not here the day we went over what type of plastics?
I still was confused. It was just like...
Take him aside later.
No, it doesn't always have to be clear, but it should. Sometimes they have a 2 or 4 in the back, or stuff like from Amazon will say in the back, recyclable, but please remove the label. So some stuff that you get, we gotta take all the labels off. So before you do that, you know, there's a lot of stuff. So if you're not really sure, you can come and talk to me. I'll try to bring some more stuff after the first of the year. Okay?
Thank you very much, Darlene. Okay, so we're down to where we can either do ticket drawings already, or we can do our program and then do the ticket drawings after. So let's do our program.
Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry. Line John.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I would gladly pay you $10 today for 175 Turkish dollars.
There you go.
Pat is going on vacation. I don't want him worrying about varsity.
Okay. It's right up here, John, if you're really serious about that. Line Marilyn.
President Cheryl, I remember now what the other dollar was for, and I don't want to miss saying this. I thought this would be a great time to thank us every Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, now I think, I'm seeing Larry with his finger up. I don't know what that's about, but
I've seen it before.
3, 4, 5 fingers up. He's serious.
I have some second thought here, because all this reminds me of all the good things President Cheryl and Bill Lyons did. Got a granddaughter, it's kind of a sad, happy one. Mandy Equipment, you might know, is closing their doors. Yeah. And everything out, so there goes another thing with the community. Yeah. That's being shut down. Jack is in the hospital and doing not real well. But on the other side, they're still selling mints. Many of you may not know that I was charged with mint collections for years. And I just gave $20 a day from that. Treasure, so.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Larry. Okay, now let's turn this program over to Lion Ken and see what he's got in store for us.
Well, we have something special, President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. We have tried since before Thanksgiving to get the music that we usually have for our Lions Club. Every teacher, every music leader, and the majority of the students could not make it because it's in the middle of their vacation week. So we got to thinking about what we should be doing, how we can get something going. And by the way, the Castle Rock Men's Choir couldn't make it either because of a health issue taking place with their leader, who is a Lion. We got thinking about what was going on with Christmas and what we do. And the first thing that came to my mind is all these stores downtown. The people are there Thanksgiving morning at 3 o'clock in the morning buying gifts for everybody. That just blew my mind. Why would anybody be there at 3 o'clock in the morning? So I got to thinking about what was my special Christmas. And I got to thinking an awful lot about the things when I was growing up, what took place and what we were doing. I can remember from my old Italian grandmother. And the whole family, I was raised Catholic, and we went to St. Catherine's Church in North Denver, which is known as Little Italy. Sits on a hill with beautiful decorations, and the Mass was fantastic. The priest that did the choir was actually from Rome, and it was just something really special to go to the midnight Mass. The most important thing about the midnight Mass is my sister and I got to stay up late at night, and we were a thorn in our parents' side after about 1 o'clock in the morning. So with that, I got to thinking about, it was really nice. We go spend the time with family. It didn't cost us a penny. We had a great time. We had the privilege of smelling the cooking that my mother did in the kitchens. The family coming over for Christmas morning breakfast. What a thrill that was to be part of people. The purpose of the Savior coming here was for the people, and that's what we were doing as a family. Too bad it happened many, many years ago, and we don't have all the luxuries that we have today. The cell phones, the televisions. We actually talked to each other and did things. So with that in mind, I started thinking about it, and I am very proud that we have 5 club members that are willing to share their memories of their favorite Christmas and what Christmas really means. So with that, I'll be quiet. Our first guest speaker will be George Rader. And then he'll be followed by Marilyn Patterson, Mark Kellish, Jay, and Herb.
I'll stay here.
Do I get to stand on this?
You can if you want, or you can kick it out of the way if it's...
If you stand up there, just wait to see you, George. Yeah.
President Cheryl, fellow lines and guests,
You got my coffee over there?
I was asking Hal Palmer if you remember the name of this fellow we shared Toastmasters with, and he didn't, but he had an interesting story. When he was going to WSU, he was dating a girl from Hawaii. As he was walking through the campus in the middle of December, she said, I just can't get in the Christmas spirit with all this snow. Which is a little bit of my theme today. It's Christmas in Miami. Ken said the best Christmas ever, but I couldn't pick one out. So I picked an unusual Christmas we had. We were empty nesters for the first time. My youngest son was stationed in Guantanamo Bay with the Marine Corps. My oldest son really wanted to go to his girlfriend's invitation to their family. So we made arrangements to visit California on Christmas Day, but decided to give ourselves a vacation first. And the first time in many years, it was just 2 of us. The idea was someplace warm, which eliminated about half the planet. Someplace we could afford, which eliminated most of the rest of the planet. And it'd be nice they spoke English. So I came home from work a few days later, and she said, guess what, I've got 8 days reserved in Belize. I said, really? Terrific. What's Belize? When I studied geography, it was British Honduras. In fact, it had only been an independent country for about 10 years at that time. So we went, everything high school native. We had 4 days on the western border with Guatemala and 4 days on the Caribbean on the other side of the country. That was all it was planned. We went with public transportation, which we found out at the Belize City Airport when we got to the bus station, consisted of old 1950s vintage school buses. And they're still yellow and black. They had painted out the name of, Kester Elementary or whatever. I knew it was elementary because when I got on, I could not put my knees forward. I had to put my knees in the aisle with my suitcase on my lap, which is a bit of a problem because the aisle was the space for the overflow, which quickly was overfilled, full of people in the aisle, and kind of every stop was like my knees were a turnstile, which was really challenging because there's no protocol getting on and off. When the bus stopped, everyone wanted to get on, just jumped on the bus. If people wanted to get off, I had to struggle past them. We finally arrived at our place, and we checked into what was a cottage, somebody very lighthearted frame of mind to call them cottages. And we found out that the trip to the Mayan ruins, which we were really interested in, 6 a day on the shuttle. Signed up immediately, went down to the shuttle the next morning. Well, the shuttle was a
DeSoto station wagon. Now, I don't know what year it was, but I know they stopped making those in the early 60s. And but guess what? There was a driver. So I volunteered to sit in the back, in the cargo space, being young and agile. It was only 40 kilometers, right? 40 kilometers, 25 miles, which took a little over 2.5 hours because the road was, the best part of the road was our worst logging roads up here in the Northwest. And he was going back and forth trying to, and you know, back in the 50s, DeSoto was known for having the great shock absorbers. This vehicle still has them, same ones. We arrived at the ruins, and interesting, they discovered these. They've been buried for centuries under the jungle, and someone that was collecting chickle tree sap for Wrigley's was up on top of a tree. He saw some stones peeking through these green mounds. They started excavating all these temples. They're very fascinating culture. I won't get into that because of the time. But there was one that, there wasn't a lot of constraint back then, just wandering around. One was partially excavated. They scrambled up this slope to get to the point where they excavated. And there was a stone going straight up vertical. And they had these ladder rungs on the side. It was rebar that stuck into the side of the well, I guess it's okay to climb up there. So Judy says, go ahead. So I started climbing up, and as I cleared the treetops, two things just hit me. Amazing view of all these green pyramids out there, and the fact that I didn't realize I had a little bit of aquaphobia. And I started getting nervous. I was worried about the quality control on these in quality control at the time. Are these just going to hold me? And I've got about 25 feet to the top, and it was just a stone ledge. There was no handholds to the top. It just stopped about 10 feet, 5 feet from the top. If I get up there, how am I going to get back down? And I started getting panicky. I started gripping these things. And I couldn't move. I was just frozen on the slider. I was completely, and then I started hearing voices down below the trees. If someone started coming up, I'm in trouble. So I finally forced myself to climb back down. Judy's waiting underneath in the shade, sipping a drink. How was the view? She said. Well, I don't know. I didn't see it really. We got back on this bus, and again, went all the way across country, and we landed at the peninsula. It was called Rum Point. Now, I've heard people that have been on vacation in Belize recently. This is not your father's Belize. They were not geared up for visitors back then, let me tell you this. But Rum Point was interesting. We stayed in yurts, which were designed in the same form as the the living place that evolved during the centuries, except they were made of concrete, not twigs or thatch. And they had a hole at the top to let the hot air, afternoon air out, and let the morning rain in.
2 minutes, George.
And they had, left, 2 minutes? Mm-hmm. Thank you. And they had opening at the bottom, let the cool evening air in, along with the lizards and frogs and like that. So anyhow, I'll fast forward a little bit here. He said, well, what time is your driver picking you up tomorrow morning when we were leaving? I said, well, we're going to take the bus back. It's weekly. I know, but we run it before. No, I mean, it only comes once a week. So, all right. So he arranged for us to get on a little airplane across the bay at this hotel. And he took us across. It turned out to be a tropical downpour. Judy got underneath some Visqueen on the little outboard motor, and off we went. And they said, give us a ticket to the pilot. And so we're sitting on the porch waiting, and so a little tiny plane came down and hit this muddy runway and turned around, revved up, and took off. And they come to, how can you, God, give a ticket to the pilot? This is our flight? Well, no one else is going to come around because the weather's so bad. This guy said, what about the bank plane? Oh yeah, the bank plane comes every day regardless. So they arranged for the bank plane. Let me know this 1 minute. And so we go running out this time, charging toward the plane when it lands, and his pickup roars by us with two guys with rifles. And it looks like the AK-47s that we saw at the border of Guatemala. These 14-year-old soldiers came out and inspected our car. And we jumped on, the guy squeezing the back of our guy, and the pilot, and turned around and revved the engine, and we got wiped off the windshield so I could see, and down we going off for, and this is the worst ride I've ever been in. I mean, it was just bouncing. And he finally said, I'm going to turn and go out around over this ocean. We're going to lose some time because I hear there's rough weather ahead. Please. So we landed there, and before TSA, of course, he said, I'm taking it right up to the gate. We're going to go to the terminal. Oh, wonderful. So we go right up to the gate where our flight was leaving, and we got there right where our flight was 15 minutes ago. spent some extra time in Belize City, didn't make the connection in Miami, spent a couple of days there, and the day after Christmas we came home, and that was my Christmas in Miami.
Christmas in Miami, Belize.
Hey, George, just to let you know, you're painted the best since then.
George, I don't know if I can create all that humor. So, my story is, I think it's just happened 53 years ago. Would you mind passing those out so that they can share? Okay. Just to bring you up to date a little bit, Steve and I met in 1970. We had both been married, each had a child, and been divorced. But when we met, I want to say, I met my best friend, I met my soulmate, don't gag, but the love of my life. So by November of 1970, we knew we wanted to be married. So we presented it to my parents at Thanksgiving dinner and said, Steve and I would like to be married. And my mom looked at us, they really liked Steve, and she said, well, what took you so long? July, November, same year? Pretty fast. But during that time, we made plans to be married, and because it was convenient, December 26th was the date. Our pastor was willing to marry us. Steve and I both had time to take time away from work, and so it just became the convenient thing. Because we'd been married first, we decided to have a very small, intimate wedding, and we invited 8 or 10 people, which were family members and a couple of personal friends. Keeping that event small was very special to us, and our wedding vows included bringing in the 2 children, which made our wedding very special. Only one of those children was able to attend, which was my son Michael. And I made my own dress, and I also made his outfit, so it made it, again, very personal. Between December 26th and 24th and 26th, our fond memories were spending Christmas with my parents at their home. And of course, Christmas Eve, many of you have children, many of you have grandchildren, and I would bet there was at least one Christmas Eve that you lost sleep because you were putting together a toy, right? So the pictures that I have passed around is a rocking horse, of course, for a 21-month-old child. And Steve spent the evening putting that together, and of course we had to wait till Michael went to bed, so we did lose some sleep. And then I brought down the pictures, having made my own dress. On Christmas Day, after all of the celebrations were completed, I needed to finish my dress that I wanted to wear to our wedding. Being Christmas, I thought it would be fun to have a red velveteen dress and white trim. I probably could have looked like Santa's wife, right? Okay. But it was fun, and I managed to finish that dress. On Christmas Day was great, the usual activities. Our celebration day, our wedding day, we had to move. I'd been in an apartment, and so the same day of that wedding, that Christmas weekend, we moved me out of an apartment into our newer home. And that particular day was our wedding day, but we borrowed a truck and hauled furniture from the apartment. We had to haul other items from my parents' home, and it was snowing. So by the time we got ready and got to the church, barely a little bit of time, but everyone made it, and we just had a very special time. We also hosted our reception at our new place where we were going to live, made our cake, and it was really a corny wording I didn't want to share with you, because I think of it today and I thought it was pretty silly. But so it was a homemade cake, home decorated, and I guess I'll share it. It said, "Our cake of love." So, in celebration of our 1970 53 years, we now have 4 children, 2 daughters-in-law, and 8 grandchildren. And our oldest grandson has a very dear girlfriend whom we call and have adopted also, our granddaughter. So I thought I would share those pictures today, and the beginning of 53 years.
expedite this slightly. Thank you, first of all, Cheryl, for reminding me yesterday at our noon meeting that I was going to be doing this today. So I went home last night and drafted a few notes. Wasn't able to find Ken's thing, so I didn't realize he was talking about Midnight Mass, but that was one of the main things that came to me. Family and music was what really hit me when I started thinking about favorites, things about Christmas, and Midnight Mass in particular. Used to have about a half hour to an hour of really amazing music before the service, and this started when I was just a toddler. I used to sleep in the pew, listen to music, and then sleep in the pew until you got a little older and you had to really kind of pay attention. I also really liked breakfast after Mass. For those who have been around Longview a long time, we typically went to Longview Cafe, Ferguson's Pancake House, or the Paragon. Only one of those is still in business, but they were great times back then. Changes over the years, continued to go even during college days. As many of you know, when marriage comes, your plans change quite a bit on some of those. At that time, Ellen was singing in the choir at Calvary with Marilyn, wherever Marilyn went, she's back that way. So typically the week before they would have a Christmas program and we'd go to that music, and then I continued to go to the Midnight Mass with Mom and Dad as they were still alive. Talk about amazing music. We often had opera singers there. One of my mom's friend's daughter was a professional opera singer for the San Francisco Opera, and her husband would come and sing. We had two people from Longview that ended up eventually being in the Portland Opera. So one Christmas we had 4 professional opera singers, and Jim Nalen, as John knows, was like a James Taylor kind of folk singer. It was just stunningly amazing music that year, and I just remember so much of that. Mostly it's the traditions, it's the family stuff that you go through. It can be a challenge when you're married because the Christmases can conflict, but on my side, the primary focus was usually Christmas Eve. On the Blair side, it was Christmas Day, so I got to have Christmas with 2 families every year, which was pretty amazing to go through. Bounced around a lot after that, of course. I do remember, or I don't really remember gifts. Things don't really matter. That's not the important part. I do remember a few Christmas vacations. We had Disneyland when I was a 5th grader, spent the night stuck in snow in the Siskiyou Pass. White Pass when I was an 8th grader. Rick's here somewhere back there. There used to be a ski jump across the road from the main resort, and Mom and Tom Renault Sr. Went down in a toboggan. Tom broke his knee, Mom broke her arm. I remember that one pretty well. Christmas always came back, though, to family, friends, and faith. It's not the presents received like I talked about. Those are things. It's the presence of the people in your family and your friends that you get to enjoy, and of Christ, the reason for the season. So whatever your faith traditions or beliefs, I want to wish you blessings of good health, happiness, and time with family and friends.
I think I got a little on that off the
Hello, everyone. I hope I can follow this stuff up. I'd like to let you know that I was raised in Southern California, and this Christmas that I remember fondly, we, being my siblings and my parents, my dad had just got laid off from work. We ended up getting down to where we only had 1 can of pumpkin in our house. But we were taking toys from each other and wrapping them up in whatever we could find, but to try to keep the Christmas spirit going. When on Christmas Day, all of a sudden, we heard a lot of noise in our front yard. It just happened to be that a bunch of motorcycles showed up. We found out it was Hell's Angels. They had heard about us. So they showed up with a lot of food, gifts, and got me to where I started looking at the inside of people for their hearts instead of what they look like on the outside. They also taught me to try to help one another. And the other Christmas that I remember very fondly, about 30 years ago, I asked a young lady what she wanted for Christmas. She asked me to marry her.
And we did. I think Steve's my best friend and soulmate. And I don't think I could be happier without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. That's beautiful. Okay, I guess I'm the last one to go here. And I had to write mine down because my kid's here, and if I hadn't written it all out, tried to say it, I'd probably crack up. My Christmas memory, maybe not my favorite Christmas, but certainly the most memorable. To be more precise, the next day. In 1955, when I was 6 and my sister was 4, coming up on 5, the day after Christmas we set fire to our kitchen. We lived at the time in a rental house on Hillcrest Drive, the very same road that our dear PCC Hal Palmer lives on right now. We'd moved there earlier in the year because our father had a horse, and there was enough rough but fenced pasture out behind the house for it. I was born to a very young mother. By this time, she had barely reached her mid-20s, and she didn't yet have all the kinks worked out of her parenting job. She decided, since my sister and I were still sleeping, to run down to the Weyerhaeuser sawmill to pick up our dad, who was getting off shift, leaving us asleep at home. She scooped up our baby brother, ran to the next door neighbor's back door and told her we were sleeping, and she was going to run to the mill to get our dad and that she would be right back. The neighbor agreed to keep an eye out on us and listen for any activity at our house while Mom was gone. So Mom tossed baby Patrick into the car with her and down the hill she went. She apparently hadn't clued in yet to how quickly things can change when there are little kids around. One of us woke up when we heard the car leave, poked the other one awake, and we went downstairs to play with the toys, unwrapped but still scattered around on the living room floor next to a Christmas tree. It was cold in the house, so we decided to go into the kitchen and turn the stove on to warm it up. We knew better than to touch a hot glowing burner. We wouldn't do that. No siree. What we didn't stop to think about is that other things besides fingers and hands can burn up as well. One of us got the bright idea to get a fire going in the living room fireplace too. Since Santa had already been down the chimney, we knew it was safe to start a warm, toasty fire. We'd seen our dad do it, so how hard could it be? We needed something to start it with, so my little sister ran to the bathroom, got a big wad of toilet paper, and scurried with it back to the kitchen. I ignited the TP on the stove burner, and needless to say, was startled at how fast it burned. As I threw it toward the sink, the blazing tissue disappeared to nothing in seconds, except a few glowing cinders floating around in the kitchen, some of which, wouldn't you know, drifted over to the kitchen window where a pair of gauzy chintz curtains hung and caught them on fire. Mom was gone for what seemed like quite a while. Dad must have been late getting off shift, or she stopped at the store for milk on the way home or something, because the fire truck got there before she did. By the time she pulled up, the neighbor had heard us yelling and seen some smoke, I guess, or glimpsed our curtains on fire out of her window. Her husband had run over to see what was going on, and somebody called the fire department. In the meantime, once we stopped jumping around screaming, Sis and I ran outside hollering and stood in the front yard shivering in the early dawn in our bare feet and our new Christmas nightgowns that Mom had sewn for us. The neighbor lady ran over with a quilt and bundled it around my shoulders. Then she stood there for a while trying to figure out what to do with me because, as I suddenly realized, my sissy was now nowhere to be seen. About that time, another neighbor appeared and carried me a couple doors down the road to her house, where I found my sister already rescued by somebody. That kind lady, whose name I never learned, made hot cocoa for both of us in her kitchen, which wasn't on fire, while Hank Snow was yodeling some holiday song from the radio on top of her fridge. Then we went into her front room and fell asleep together on the sofa, missing out on all the rest of the excitement. I don't remember how long the fire department was there, how much of the wallpaper caught fire along with the curtains, or the extent of the damage to that soggy, fire-hosed, kid-wrecked kitchen. I don't even remember how much longer we were allowed to stay in that house. But when school started the next September, I was back in South Kelso at Wallace Elementary, and there were brand new curtains on our kitchen window. I wish all pioneers a very merry, special, and warm, but not on fire, holiday. Surrounded by those that you love the most, and as Tiny Tim said, God bless us, everyone. Blue ticket, 50-50 drawing. Oh, John. Okay, John. Pick a winner. Draw a winner. That stack's getting lower every day. You could be there today. He got what? He got the Joker. You got the Joker? John got the Joker. All right. Excellent. All right. John wins half the pot.
Whatever that is, Pat.
Whatever it is. Pat, now you get to figure out.
Like, I got time to do this before I leave. Don't worry. It's going to be plus or minus $550.
Yeah, nice Christmas, John. Merry Christmas to John. Yes.
I'm going to be donating $500 back to the community house on Broadway whenever I get it.
Did you all hear that? John's going to donate $500 of the winning pot to Community House on Broadway when he gets the money. That's great. And now to finish up the day. It's just about time. And being an old semi-Irish woman, I offer an old semi-Irish blessing to all of us. Wishing you more happiness than all my words can tell. Not just alone for Christmas, but for all the year as well. In the new year, may your hand always be stretched out in friendship, but never in want. I'm wishing a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to each and every pioneer, with hopes that you enjoy a wonderful holiday week, wrapped in the love of dear family and friends. See you in 2024.